What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of my R&B reviews. It's your boy Reg here. I just uploaded Coogee Rap's 456, and so I'm very much in a very progressive mood right now when it comes to music and shit like that. So I thought I was going to do another review. Teena Marie's fourth studio album, It Must Be Magic, 1981 on Gordy, which was under Motown and shit like that. Now, I know you guys are wondering, why did I skip over this album when I did the Robbery album from '83? Well, I gotta be real. I was meaning to do this review weeks ago. I was meaning to do this review weeks ago, but end of the semester, busy with schoolwork, busy trying to record stuff and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and it's just basically I just been so trying lately. I'm been so stressed. And I was like, you know what, let me get these reviews out the way and stuff like that. And so yeah. And remind me, I'm still a little tipsy at the moment, so if my performance comes off a little off to some people about to get a little hype about some shit, just bear with me and stuff, you know what I'm saying? So but yeah, back to the fucking album, okay. So after the release of Irons in the Fire, which was what a lot of fans call her best album, which I might have to disagree with that slightly, but if you guys see my reviews lately, y'all know what I'm about to do. She was getting like a lot of popularity. Um, she was getting like a lot of popularity. Loved writing her own material and shit like that. And so that same year, and she had appeared on Rick James, um, what's the album? Street Songs off the song Fire and Desire. Very dope song and shit like that. Mike Tribera and I, we've done a review on that last year, late last year. Um, a lot of people say that was his best album. I say that's one of his best albums, but excuse me, I felt like his best one personally was either busting out the 7-Eleven, the L7, or however you say it, or Garden of Love. That might be possibly my third or fourth favorite album, but I'm getting way off topic. And actually around that time, which I have not known, but she had a fever when she did that fucking song. She did those vocals, so she did those vocals in one take, and she had to go to the hospital right after that. So that was crazy. But so 1981 was a pretty busy year for Teena Marie and shit like that, because she got like a lot of popularity and shit like that. So yeah, so fast forward that same year, she worked on this album right here. It Must Be Magic. This was her first gold record, actually, and her first gold record. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this is her most successful album. Let me just double check. Let me double check. Yeah, it was her best-selling album on Motown. Her best-selling album period was Star Child, which I'm gonna talk about more sometime in the summer. I want to actually get a copy of that album because it's fairly common from where I stay at. So yeah, and so yeah, fucking dope album cover. You know, Tina Marie's always been a fucking beautiful lady and shit. I'm not gonna fucking front. So yeah, got the fucking lyrics, which I fucking love. So yeah. Oops, I dropped my phone. Oops. Okay. So this album has 9 songs originally. Oh, the personnel, very dope personnel. So you have Patrice Rushen on keyboards and shit like that. Scott Marcus DeBerg and James S. Stewart. I'm not gonna name everybody. I'm gonna name a couple people. Tina Marie was on synthesizer. Jill Albright was on sax. You have Lloyd Lindroth on harp. A lot of background vocals. You had Melvin Franklin, Otis Williams with the Temptations on background. You had a very young Jill Jones. Um, Jill Jones, you guys should know, You guys should know who she is and stuff like that. She was affiliated with Prince. She dropped a very dope album back in '87, which I'm gonna review that sometime in the future. Um, of course, Rick James on backing vocals, So yeah, had a couple of people from the last album and shit like that. Shout out to Patrice Russian, by the way, and I reviewed the Straight from the Heart album months ago. So if you guys are very interested in what I have to say about that, just go on my channel, type Patrice Russian, and you guys should see it. All right, so fucking 9 songs. You guys know what I'm about to do. Track number 1, It Must Be Magic, which was just playing in the background. That was a pretty cool song and shit like that. Very kind of reminiscent of like some intros from the past and stuff like that. Very reminiscent, especially like from the Lady T era. I loved it was very horn driven and whatnot. So yeah, very dope album and stuff. Very dope opening track. Track number 2, Revolution. Now, I've said what I had to say about what's the album? What's the song? It Must Be Magic, but I always felt like Revolution should have started off the album. I don't know. Just the fucking piano intro, how she's singing and shit, then it leads into just this funk driven kind of song and shit like that, This makes you want to get down, makes you want to like dance and shit like that. Penny, like some of the lyrics include like Penny Lane, the pipe is gone. I saw the photograph. Neither you nor I can tell what heaven knows. I told my bestest friend named Mickey Girl we're really living in a sticky world. I wish I had the right solution because any old revolution won't do. So yeah, that's very dope. And what I got from that song was that no matter how hard like one tries in the relationship, I don't know, any revolution would not do anything, would not overturn what just happened. So that's what I got from that. Track number 3, Where's California? Uh, this song was okay. Not really too big on this song and shit like that. I feel it was a bit too early for a ballad. Um, I feel it was a bit too early for a ballad and shit like that. So yeah. Track number 4, 365. Love this song right here. Love this song. Just another 365, meaning like 365 days in the year, besides leap year with 366. It talks about one's unconditional love, 24/7 and shit like that. So yeah, that's one thing I got from that song and shit. Yeah, very funky. I love the synthesizers on that. Next track we got is um Opus 3, Does Anybody Care? Okay, so this was a kind of confusing track. I didn't know who the fuck Opus was. I don't know who the fuck Opus was and shit like that. And I don't know anybody with the name of Opus who would live with the name Opus. But vocally, it was a very dope track. I feel like vocally she did a thing. And it's like a short kind of track that it has like a very religious undertone towards it because she's mentioning like the Bible and Jesus and whatnot. And it leads into my favorite song off this album, Square Biz. Square Biz, Square Biz, Square Biz. Alright, so a lot of people want to say this is like their most popular Teena Marie song. I'm about to say this is probably her signature song, her signature song. I can't even get mad about that. Like, I'm talking Square Biz to you, baby. Like, everyone knows that fucking song. It's been sampled a lot of times. All my baby boy heads should know it. Or should know that song. So yeah. The firm, of course, sampled this song and shit like that. Oh, so yeah, so Square Biz, that's a very dope song, very funky kind of track. I love a lot of shit about the songs, like actually did the outro which like I'm talking Square Biz, like So yeah, very dope song and shit like that. And then she even dropped a little freestyle towards the end and stuff like that. I've been called Casper Shorty a little bit, and some they call me Vanilla Child, but that they don't know my world to me, cause baby, yeah. So yeah, that's very dope and shit like that. She dropping little rhymes and stuff. And this was like back in '81, so I felt like that was very unique. So don't have no that comes like Oh, I kind of fucked that shit up. This the line when she was rapping. I think it was verse 5. So don't you have no doubt. I'm gonna spell it out. I'll hip you to the T. That is. I've got the best, the most, baby, from the coast to coast, and I won't want to boast, but I love you, Square Biz. So yeah, so that's Square Biz right there. Hold that thought. Sorry about that. I had my mom called me and stuff, so I had to handle that. But so Square Biz was just basically one of her probably her signature song, very influential song and stuff like that. Track number 7, the ballad of Cradle Rob and Me. This song was actually co-written by Jill Jones herself. So Tina Marie and Jill Jones co-wrote this song. So I was like, okay. This song was a very interesting song to me. Very interesting song. Um, it's talking about this older girl who's pursuing younger man and shit like that. In a way, someone's play, so we hanging up in this. So that's one thing, because when people talk about Cradle Rob is basically hold on, I wrote the definition. I wrote the definition down. Hold on. People talk about like Cradle Rob. Cradle Rob is a person who marries or becomes romantically involved with someone who is much younger or who employs or otherwise engages a young person for a purpose inappropriate for his or her age. So, um, like I said, it's a very interesting song. So like I said before, she's talking about like, dating this younger chick. And she's talking about I was 3 years too old for them to ignore. She said I was robbing the cradle, but it was cradle robbing me. We hung around about a year after that till Rob found another girl to put his hairs in plates. And I said, girl, don't you worry me, and we'll have none of that. So yeah. And at the end of the song is like he all of a sudden goes to um Rob ends up going to college and shit like that. And basically, she's saying that it wasn't like what you thought. So it's a very confusing song, but you have to re-listen to it and shit like that. I like the song. It took me a while to really get used to the song, but I pretty much like it. Track number 8, Portuguese Love. Oh my god. Fucking dope song, man. Fucking dope. It's either this song or Portuguese Love that's my favorite song off this album. And this song actually features Rick James. He's doing like the spoken male parts and shit like that. So yeah. I love like the very Portuguese theme towards the song and shit like that. Very dope song and shit. I love this song. The chorus though. I ain't gonna let you go that easy. You're gonna say you love me too. I ain't gonna let you go that easy. I'm gonna give you all to you, Portuguese love. Then the outro where it just gets into like this very dope break and shit like that. Baby, I love this song. Very dope song. Again, one of Tina Marie's signature songs too. And the last song off this album, Yes Indeed, which was reported to be Tina Marie's favorite song of this album. And I can't be mad because it's actually a dope ballad and shit like that. See, you want to see, basically just give him a shout out to his love and shit like that. So yeah, um, that's all the songs off this album. Okay, so when I think about It Must Be Magic, I want to think of it more. I think of it more of like an extension to Irons in the Fire because it's pretty much Irons in the Fire, but more on the funky side, if that makes sense. Because even Portuguese Love, I wouldn't even call that like a ballad, you know what I'm saying? Because it has like a very Latin rhythm to a Latin funk vibe towards it and shit. And she actually dedicates this album to like John Lennon, John John Kennedy, Robert Kennedy, and Martin Luther King Jr. and shit like that. So I felt like that was pretty interesting, especially when you have like all the kids in the races here and shit like that. But yeah, this is a very dope album. I do love this album. I felt like the funky tracks outshine the ballads and stuff like that. My only gripe, I just felt like some of the sequencing was a bit too off with this album and shit. Um, and yeah, she definitely was at her creative peak with this album as well too. So I just felt like the sequencing was a little bit off. Like I would definitely have put West California probably like track 5 and shit like that. But it is what it is. Album is still in print, so if you guys can find it, the album must have in your collection. And yeah, you guys, like I mentioned the robbery album. She had a lawsuit with Motown and whatnot, and she got out of her contract with that shit. So yeah, and also this album got her a Grammy nomination for Best Female R&B Vocal Performance and shit like that in the 1982 Grammys. And She actually lost to Aretha Franklin with the cover of "Hold On, I'm Coming" and shit like that. So, and that's another thing about the Grammys too. Like they'll have mixed albums and singles and shit like that. But it is what it is. I'm not gonna talk about the Grammys tonight. But Tina Marie's "It Must Be Magic," released in 1981, must have in your collection. And that's all the time I have. Stay tuned for more. Peace.